Alchemy, derived from the Arabic alchemia, chemia meaning art. And over centuries, alchemy has come to mean the art of transmutation, taking something ordinary, maybe even something that seems worthless, and turning it into something precious, something golden. So I say this, I am not standing here because of a miracle. I'm not standing here because of an invention or an extraordinary stroke of luck. I am standing here because I am an alchemy of women. Women who have melted themselves down over and over again just so that I could be shaped, forged, and transformed. Women who took what the world might have called a tragedy, a broken family, a missing father, an incomplete childhood, and transmuted it into abundance, into strength, into me. A little background. My parents divorced when I was a year and a half old. So I have no memory of my father. Absolutely none. For some, that is where the story would begin and end, at the absence. People often ask me, didn't you miss having a father figure? And my answer is always the same. How can you miss something you never even knew? How can you long for a presence when the absence is filled so fully, so fiercely by others? Because instead of one parent, I had three mothers. Actually, four. Let me introduce you to them. So, first, my mama, my biological mother, the breadwinner of the family. The one who shouldered not just responsibility, but sacrifice. Throughout my childhood, she gave up job opportunities in bigger cities. Promotions that could have literally changed the trajectory of her career. Just so that I could grow up in stability, surrounded by familiarity, in the comfort of the only home I knew. And here's the thing, as a child, I did not see those sacrifices. But now I realize that she gave up her branches just so that I could grow roots. And then, after so many years, in 2021, something really extraordinary happened. She took the leap. She moved away for work. And instead of fear or anxiety, I felt pride. Because for once, she chose herself. Her choice wasn't just about ambition, it was about trust. She trusted her sister and her mother enough to step in for her. She trusted me enough to know that I'd be okay. And let me tell you this, I have never been prouder of her than the day that she left. Because for once, she chose herself. She wasn't just my mother, she was her own woman again. Up next, my my aunt, a professor who worked hard all day in college, teaching a class of about 100 college students. That's already exhausting. Then she came home at 4, sat with me at 5 every evening to study. And she didn't give up her dreams, she simply made room for mine. She made my education her second shift, one that she never ever complained about. It wasn't sacrifice, it was discipline. And trust me, I wasn't the easiest student. I still am not. I am not the type to study at a desk with a pen and paper in my hand, like those cute little photographs in school brochures. No. I am the type to study sprawled across the bed or wrapped in my blanket like a burrito, my notebooks hanging off of my head and even sometimes falling onto my face, I'll be honest. But Ma never forced me to change. She didn't demand neatness, she just demanded persistence. And in that, she taught me that there is no right way to learn, only the way that works for you personally. Then there's Nani. She is not the soft storytelling grandmother of the fairy tales, no. She's not the endlessly indulgent figure who spoils her grandchildren. My Nani is the scolder, the one who makes sure rules matter, the one who keeps me in check, the one who never lets me drift too far. She reminds me that love isn't always gentle. Sometimes it is sharp, it's corrective, and it's loud. As a child, I resented those scoldings. I'll be honest, I still get irritated at them sometimes. But deep inside, I know every raised voice is also a raised shield. Every strict word is her way of keeping me safe, keeping me tethered. That discipline is her form of devotion. Then there's my Didi. 7 years older and unknowingly my first role model. She is the topper, the one who has, throughout her academic life, balanced academics and extracurriculars effortlessly. I would always watch her silently as she would study late into the night, rush to debate competitions, and bring home accolades. I didn't always say it, but I was learning by imitation. I thought if she could do it, maybe I could too. And to this day, I carry her example like a compass. Her footsteps have literally become the map of my ambitions. So, no, I never felt incomplete. How could I when instead of one parent, I had three mothers? I had an entire village raising me. Because you see, it does take a village to raise a child. Mine just happened to be a house full of women. When Mama moved away in 2021, my life didn't collapse. It restructured. Ma, as usual, came home at 4, sat with me at 5. Nani kept the house running like clockwork, making sure I had every meal I was supposed to. Mama called me every 2 or 3 hours just to check up on me. She flew in over 800 kilometers every 2 or 3 weeks just to show me that she was still here, still mine. And in that rhythm, in that consistency, I learned the truth about strength. That strength isn't always about grand gestures or loud victories. Sometimes it just looks like consistency. Like showing up every evening at 5 just to make me study. Like scolding me because she cared enough to correct me. Like catching a flight every 3 weeks because she cared enough to stay connected. That is alchemy, the quiet, relentless transformation of the ordinary into the extraordinary. Then came 2023, when I moved back to live with Mama full time. And that is when I saw truly what it meant for her to be a single mother. I saw her rush from board meetings to the kitchen, though she doesn't cook, from conference calls to laundry, from exhaustion to still asking me every day, Rajye, how was your day? And I realized she'd always been giving, but now she was giving everything. She wasn't just mother and father, no. She was mother, father, friend, guide, protector, comfort, command, all of it in one. And in watching her, I learned the most important lessons of my life. That true strength isn't the absence of vulnerability. It is the choice to keep going, even when you're afraid, even when you're tired. That love isn't weakness, it's actually the deepest form of courage. That bending does not mean breaking, that sacrifice does not mean silence. That to remake yourself every single day for the people you love is the truest and purest form of alchemy. So here I am today, confident because they never let me feel less, multifaceted because they all carried so many roles, strong because they endured, and sensitive because they also taught me to feel. If I could stand before them now, I would say, Mama, thank you for always prioritizing me, for giving up literally your dreams just so that I could have stability, and for inspiring me when you finally chose yourself. Ma, thank you for making my education your second shift, for proving that discipline can also be love. Nani, thank you for scolding me into shape. You're a huge reason that I am who I am today. You've loved me in a language of correction. And Didi, thank you for being my first role model, for being my first compass, for showing me balance. Each of you, in your own way, has been an alchemist. Together, you have forged me. So, what is alchemy? It's not turning lead into gold. It's turning absence into abundance, sacrifice into legacy, ordinary women into extraordinary pillars. I am not the product of what was missing. I am the alchemy of what was present. I am the echo of their scolding, the result of their sacrifices, the gold forged in their fire. If alchemy is transformation, then I am living proof of it. A child shaped by a village of women, turned into gold by their hands. I am their alchemy, I am their gold, and they are my philosopher's stone. Thank you.